Lecture 2. In Lecture 2, let's further analyse the impermanence of all conditioned things. We need to constantly practice the seal of all conditioned things are impermanent, which is an essential stage to study and practice the middle way and realise emptiness. Many people talk about emptiness and study emptiness, but cannot realize emptiness because they haven't truly meditated on impermanence and haven't truly begun to practice. Truly meditating on impermanence is totally different from simply understanding its principles. All things go through arising, abiding, declining and void, and will eventually cease. From the various stages through which things abide as a continuum, we can understand the stage-based impermanence of all things. This is also known as gross impermanence, which can be perceived by ordinary people's senses. All living beings go through the stages of birth, aging, sickness, and death. Sentient beings go through different stages in their body and mind, and eventually decline and die, which helps us understand the stage-based impermanence of life. This stage-based impermanence is gross impermanence. The entire Dharma realm, the entire universe, is a whole. If anything within it is changing, the entire universe is changing. The galaxy is a relatively independent entity where any movement of any object within it causes the entire galaxy to change. Similarly, the solar system is also a relatively independent entity, where any movement of any object within it causes the entire solar system to change. If any object on Earth is permanent, then the Earth, the entire solar system, the Milky Way, and even the entire Dharma realm would be permanent, because the universe is a whole. This would mean that the entire Dharma realm would cease to change, and time would freeze as if the pause button had been pressed. However, this is impossible. All phenomena that arise from causes and conditions are not inherently existing, but rather manifest at the moment when causes and conditions come together. All material and mental phenomena are not inherently existing, but rather manifest at the moment when causes and conditions come together, and change without abiding in the very next moment. All matter constantly emits various electromagnetic waves while simultaneously absorbing various electromagnetic waves as well. When something undergoes quantitative change, the gross impermanence of its continuum doesn't look obvious, but the subtle impermanence of its continuum is pretty evident. So ordinary people mistakenly believe that it's permanent and unchanging. When something undergoes a qualitative change from quantitative change, the gross impermanence of its continuum becomes very apparent. So ordinary people believe that it has disappeared or transformed into something else. By inference, all phenomena in the world of sentient beings and the material world throughout the 10 directions and 3 time periods are dependent arising and momentary. Based on dependent arising, we can gain insight into all phenomena in the universe, which are all conditioned things that arise from causes and conditions, arising and passing away in a moment. This is true for all things in the universe. In the interaction of causes and conditions, our thoughts are changing and flowing continuously. In reality, the entire universe is in a continuous cycle of day and night, fullness and emptiness, and arising and passing away. The Nirvana Sutra says, all conditioned things are impermanent. This is the law of arising and passing away. In the world of conditioned things, we can see arising and passing away any time, anywhere. First, based on the seal of impermanence on all conditioned things, we can conclude that all conditioned phenomena are momentary. Secondly, since they are momentary, they cease without abiding in the second moment, which shows that all conditioned things lack inherent meaning. Thirdly, by understanding that even the most basic moment lacks inherent meaning, we can see that any combination of moments, no matter how many, is still devoid of inherent meaning. The sum of an infinite number of zeros is still zero. A wise person who realizes this will naturally let go of attachments to all conditioned things. This is letting go of attachments to all conditioned things throughout the 10 directions and 3 time periods, without exception. The power of this principle is significant, which requires seeing through it thoroughly from the root. Once you have seen through it from the root, you can see through everything. That is to say, once you realize the momentary nature of conditioned phenomena at their roots, you will no longer have any attachment or hope towards them. Secondly, observe can't be grasped in 2 steps. First, observe the conditioned things in a single moment. Because conditioned things are momentary in nature, they arise and cease in a moment, making it impossible for us to grasp them even if we make every effort to do so. It's like when you try to grasp something appearing in empty space. It disappears before you can even hold on to it. You cannot hold on to it even if you try. In the end, you are toiling in vain. This is observing that we cannot grasp anything in a single moment. Second, observe in the countless moments of the past, present, and future. Since we cannot grasp or seize even a single moment, then countless moments put together cannot be grasped or seized either. Realizing this, we can let go of our attachment to conditioned things. Only then will we realize that we have been blind to the momentary nature of all things since beginningless time. We always hold infinite dreams and hopes for the future. In fact, all things in the world have no inherent meaning. However, in a meaningless world, we are establishing and creating a meaning, and then pursuing this illusory meaning in confusion, which is totally a delusion. Indeed, A slight ignorance can lead to entanglement for countless kalpas. The attachment to permanence makes us chase after illusions in countless kalpas, grasping shadows in vain. For countless kalpas, we have been chasing after illusions, which is rooted in our failure to clearly recognize the subtle impermanence. On the contrary, by developing a firm understanding of momentary impermanence, you can pacify the attachment towards the future, which is the state of seeing through. Because at that time you have seen through that all conditioned things are bound to be momentary. No matter if the future refers to the next 10 years, 100 years, one lifetime, 100 lifetimes, or even countless lifetimes. All conditioned things, regardless of their quantity or variety, are inherently impermanent. Like soap bubbles that cannot be grasped, even if you desire to do so. Therefore, you have let go of the ignorance to grasp the future and no longer suffer from torturous longing. From here, we can realize that the momentary conditioned things are not the true meaning of life. Instead, we should turn our attention to seek and enlighten the great unconditioned truth, the nature of reality free from birth and death. So, understanding subtle impermanence will bring about a tremendous change in our concepts, motivations, and behaviours, and we will no longer pursue the false conditioned things. Therefore, understanding subtle impermanence is a crucial preliminary practice that allows us to renounce the world, follow the path of liberation, realize non-arising, and ultimately return to our true nature. The power of observation is tremendous. By observing deeply with wisdom and developing a firm understanding of subtle impermanence, we can shatter the illusory pursuit of all worldly things. For this reason, the sutra says that meditating on impermanence is like a sharp sword, which can destroy all afflictions and negative actions at once, eliminate all desires, ignorance, and arrogance in the three realms, and is the gateway to all kinds of wonderful achievements. As stated in the Dhammapada, we should realize that this body is like a clay jar, and all phenomena are like mirage. The sword of impermanence can cut down the Mara's flower, leading to non-conceptual nirvana. Alright, that's all for this lecture.